you're interested in knowing how I got pregnant with PCOS, keep watching. I would take them every single day. Do you track your ovulation? I cannot prove to you that this is the reason that I got pregnant, but it's a very interesting coincidence. How I got pregnant with PCOS. Hey everyone, my name is Jessica Johnson and welcome to my channel. A couple of things about me. I am a future mom, I'm a dog mom, and I'm happily married, and I have a lot of hobbies. Okay, so something I wanna say right away about this video. If you go back and watch my other videos, I go on a whole journey over the past year with my hormones and learning a little bit more about PCOS. But here's the thing, I know a lot of people who have PCOS way worse than I do. My PCOS diagnosis really only came from looking at my ultrasound mixed with, you know, a little bit of facial hair on my face and the fact that it took us over a year to conceive. So if you're somebody on the extreme end of things, like really looking for some serious answers, I don't know if I can provide that to you, but what I can provide is stuff based on my experience and kind of what my life has looked like over the past year. And if I'm being completely honest, I've always been a little bit weary of my PCOS diagnosis. Something about it didn't quite feel right, but I'm gonna go through this video, and if this sounds like you, that is really what I'm hoping, is that somebody can watch this video and be like, that sounds like me, maybe these things will help me too, okay? I am 29 years old and I am so excited because I am pregnant with my very first baby. Overall, I was a fairly healthy person. I was not like a health nut, you know what I mean? Like I would not say I'm on that crunchy level, that is for sure. But I was not unhealthy, and in fact, I love working out, I love the gym, I'm super athletic. So over a year ago, it was around July, my husband and I started having the conversation of, you know, hey, we think that we are interested in, you know, praying about it and starting our family. And at that time, I had already been on birth control for a couple of years since we got married. So we prayed about it, we got off of birth control, and so that next August was our first month off of birth control. The advice that everybody gave us in the beginning is like, you know, like, just have fun, don't try to have a baby. So that's what we kind of tried to do, was not try. But what was interesting after getting off birth control, because it's been a little while, was that, you know, for the first few months, my periods were just like irregular. At first I got it around, you know, 28 days, which seemed like normal. And then like the next month it was like a little bit longer. Another month, I literally at one point, it was like 20 days. And then I spotted at one point, and apparently that was my period. Like, it was a really wacky, like, beginning there. But again, we weren't like seriously trying anyway, so I was trying not to like freak out, you know, and I'm just like, you know what, my body is gonna just take some time to adjust from getting off of birth control. This is just a part of it. My body's just adjusting. But also nothing was really happening. To be honest, I was kind of expecting to get pregnant right away. Like every month, like in the first couple of months, I was like, am I pregnant? Am I pregnant? Am I pregnant? Because I'm still fairly young and I was fit and healthy, and I was just kind of expecting it to just like happen for us, because some of my other friends, it just happened for them. So after a couple of months of just like not trying, but trying, I was like, okay, maybe I need to figure something out. So then somebody told me about this app called Flow. Now there's a cat on my roof. Hold on. So somebody told me about this app called Flow, and there's a bunch of other like period tracking apps that you can download, but that's just the one that I heard of, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna download this and start using it. So what that helped me do is I would literally track when my period came every single month. That way I just had a better idea of how long my cycles actually were. And just to back up for a second, even though we were trying without trying before, I would still try to aim for like around day 15, because that's when I thought, I was like, oh, I must be like, that must be when my fertile time is, because they say if you have a 28-day cycle that you ovulate approximately around day 15. Well, after tracking when my period came, I actually had closer to a 35-day cycle. And throughout that whole getting off birth control thing, it really did take my body a long time to adjust. So once I started getting more regular, so to speak, yeah, it was consistently around like 35, 36 days. So then I was left with a question. I was like, okay, well, what does that mean for, when I'm supposed to ovulate? And if you're new to this kind of stuff, ovulation is the only time that you can get pregnant. You literally just have like a couple of days window when you're supposed to do the baby dance and hopefully get pregnant around that time. So it's very important actually to know when you ovulate. So again, for a little while, I was just kind of taking some guesses as to like, okay, well, maybe I ovulate around this time, maybe I ovulate around that time, knowing I had like a 35-day cycle. And I can't remember exactly when it happened, but somewhere between like 6 and 8 months, I finally decided, I was like, you know what? I need some answers. Like, why aren't I getting pregnant? Like, this is not making sense. And that's when I decided to go to the OBGYN, and they did an ultrasound, and they were able to see that I had polycystic ovaries. And this is what I was trying to refer to in the beginning, is that it was weird though, because I didn't really feel like I had all the other symptoms of PCOS. Like I'm telling you, I have to pluck like right here every day, but I don't get the typical, like, I know some people that get it really, really bad, but I did have polycystic ovaries. So the combination of like the couple of things just made me go like, okay, so do I have this thing called PCOS, and what does that mean for getting pregnant? But one of the doctors that had seen me and we were going over my stuff, like she just assured me, like looking at your scan, like I don't really see why you couldn't get pregnant. So that was reassuring for me. But then she was like, well, do you track your ovulation? And I was like, well, I actually did buy this like pack of ovulation strips. I think I saw something on like a YouTube video once, just like you, learning about an ovulation strip. And what they are is they almost look like a pregnancy test, but they're like these tiny little strips, and they test your LH levels around the time that you think that you're getting close to ovulation. The lines on this strip should get progressively darker, so you can see your LH levels rise. And before I had used one like once or twice, but I just like, at first I thought it was just like too hard. I can never figure out when my window was or whatever. But she was like, you should test those, so that way we can just at least see if you are regularly ovulating. I started tracking my ovulation, and honestly, that's a little bit easier if you already had started tracking your period first, because I had about as I said, a 35-day cycle. So I kind of started taking those ovulation strips around like 15 days before my period would come. And I would take them every single day for like sometimes a couple of weeks. But if I can give you a big word of advice, especially, if you are trying to figure this thing out, that was extremely helpful, because I was able to understand for the most part each month approximately when my window was. Because had I just been, doing the baby dance like I was before on day 15 of my cycle, well, that was the complete wrong time. When I actually ovulated was later, closer to day 20 something. And what that also will do for you is give you some answers, because apparently something with people that have PCOS, what can happen is that your body might not actually ovulate, or it might not release an egg the way that it should. And when I was first trying to kind of get used to the whole, testing thing, there were times that I was like, okay, I don't even know if I really ovulated this month. But the months that I was really diligent about it and took my time and actually really tested, it actually gave me a security in going, okay, I'm ovulating. At the very minimum, what it will tell you is that your body is producing that hormone that in theory your body should be able to release that egg. So it gave me peace of mind. I highly recommend it. This is the brand that I used. They come in like a quadrillion pack, so just like buy one and it'll last you for a long time. Not only did it give me peace of mind, but I also knew, like, you know, when we did our thing, that I was indeed doing that in the correct window of time. In addition to all of that, I started improving my diet around then too. I did my best to stay away from, you know, a ton of processed foods, just things that weren't really good for my body. You can go back and watch some of my videos on that and some of the changes I had made during that time. And I'm talking in past tense because this first couple months of pregnancy, I'm eating like garbage because that's all I freaking want to eat right now. Another big thing that I did, and I cannot prove to you that this is the reason that I got pregnant, but it's a very interesting coincidence that this occurred. If you go back and watch my other videos, you will see that I started taking this product or this supplement called Ovulation. And Ovulation is an inositol supplement, and it supports ovarian health and healthy egg function. Healthy eggs. I had heard about this product from some other people that I knew that, you know, had fertility issues or things like that. And it was also nice because it was natural. It was something I can just like put into my water every single day. And I did that religiously for like 3 months, twice a day. And in that 3rd month, I got pregnant. And that is kind of what they say when you're looking at like about the product, that it takes about 3 months to see some results. Again, I cannot say that that was the cure-all, but it is an interesting coincidence. That's all I'm saying. Another thing that I set out to do in the couple of months before I got pregnant is I got blood work done. I personally wanted answers hormonally about, you know, what's going on with my body. You know, do I have a hormone imbalance somewhere? Are these things that I can fix through diet? What's the problem here? So I went and I got some stuff tested. I can't remember everything off the top of my head, so I'm going to put them on the screen. At one point, my doctor had called me back and they were like, hey, your blood results are normal. And I was just so confused, but I realized they had never tested me for my testosterone and my progesterone, which are both important. Again, I'm not a doctor, but apparently with PCOS, you might produce more testosterone, which can make the fertility process for you a little bit more difficult, and you might not produce enough progesterone. So those were 2 things that I was like, okay, I really, really want those answers. And so I was like, hey, could you guys put that request in for me so I can go get those done? And between when I got that new request and when I wanted to go, you know, get those tests done, I found out that I was pregnant. So obviously I am thrilled that I am pregnant and so happy, but the only downside is that I cannot sit here and be like, oh yeah, these levels were off and, you know, and then I fixed them, and, you know, like I can't give you those guaranteed answers. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but I would still recommend you guys to go find those answers out for yourself. The last thing I would advise is just to listen to your body, be healthy, take care of you. Whatever it is that you need to do for you to get the answers that you need, go do those things. Because at least I can look back at my journey over the past X amount of months and go, you know what? Like, I may not have every single answer, but I at least sought out some solutions and some answers. I hope this video helped you. As we speak right now, I am 10 weeks, so I might be closer to 13 weeks when I post this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I am so excited to document this whole journey and take you on workouts and do the whole thing. Subscribe, become a part of the fam, and I will see you next time.